I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I'm very sorry too that I'm not in Thailand, but this is harvest time in Champagne, so I need to be in the vineyards with the team. So I will explain and show you how we protect the name Champagne. But first of all, I would like to give you some explanation and see you a bit of history to fully understand why we protect the name Champagne in this way today. So my name is Marianne Humbert, and I work at Comité Champagne, CIVC, for more than 10 years now, and I'm head of the legal department, so in charge of protecting the name Champagne worldwide. So let's make a short journey into this wine region of France. I would like to say that today's organization is very linked to the history and the territory. That's very important to us. As you can see, in the early 19th century, the people from Champagne, called the Champenois, already protected the name Champagne because some French producers abused of the name Champagne. So Champagne is a very strict, delimited wine region in France, in Europe. And so every other wines which is not Champagne is strictly forbidden. So the delimited place is very important to us and to all GIs in the world. The name Champagne is quite well known and reputed in the world, and we have a lot of misuses of the name. So in the past, the people thought already that it was very important to have a strict, clear delimitation of the wine region. So you can see that in the 1936, we had the first legislation recognizing the Champagne protected designation of origin. And so we have a specifications like all GI's products. We strictly define the place, the grape varieties, the techniques, and blah, blah, blah. So the Comité Champagne was then created in 1941. What is important to know is that the many challenges faced by the people of Champagne have given them a very strong sense of common purpose, and that's a very important point, the collectivity and the common purpose. And everything in Champagne is born not from the will of a single people, but from that all of the professional concerned in a spirit of close economic and human solidarity. So today, Comité Champagne is in charge of supervising a small production, but with a worldwide presence. So we ship Champagne wines in all the world, despite a small quantity of bottles. So here is the building of Comité Champagne. For nearly 100 years now, the Comité is a concrete expression of how this collective works. We have a strict sense of neutrality and consensus. So winegrowers and champagne houses are involved in the decision-making process in all major issues, including the protection. So briefly, you can see that we are again at the place of the collective. We bring together all the key players, winemakers, cooperative, champagne houses, so traders, and we make it possible. So that's very important. If we want to do something, we need everyone involved in the activity. So we have the task to maintain a balance between different interests. We have winegrowers who own the vines and grow the grapes, and the houses, the traders that sell most of the bottles in the world, but need the raw materials, so the grapes, to produce them. So that's one of the key missions of the Comité Champagne, to balance the interests of all the professionals. Very briefly, but I think that's important for protection too. One of the missions of Comité Champagne is to regulate the market. We have a sufficient, strong and recognized organization for producers to accept strict rules, sometimes unfavorable rules to some, for the collective benefit. So accordingly, the Comité Champagne is in charge of reconciling irregular harvest and market needs. That's also very important in terms of counterfeiting because we collect a lot of data. We know everything about champagne, how many bottles are sold, how many grapes are cut, who do what. So if we have fake products or any questions, we can rely on all the data we have at the Comité Champagne. Mission number 2, quality and sustainability. The Comité Champagne conducts research, development and innovation on vines, on wine, with the aim of enabling Champagne to adapt to and mitigate climate change. That's something very important to us, and we work for decades now on climate change. The 2 major challenges are cultivating a sustainable and resilient vineyards, and 2, preserving the excellence of Champagne wines. So, for example, we develop new grape varieties to adapt climate change. Just to show you what we do, we also have small vineyards to do like the Champagne winegrowers. We have cellar, we have a laboratory, and that's also very important for counterfeit and protection, because if we find on the market or if the Thai or Asian authorities find suspicious bottles, you can ship them to us and we can make some expertise and some analysis to check whether the wines come from Champagne or not. Mission number 3 is the promotion of Champagne. We have been given the role to promote the appellation, the name Champagne, and also to educate wine professionals. So, for example, we do some trainings in wine school. We create some digital tools to explain consumer or people interested by Champagne what it is and how you can drink it, and etc. So again, everything is made possible for one reason. It's just because it's a choice from our board, from the winegrowers, a choice, a collective will to give the Champagne the means, both legal means, financial means, to ensure that Champagne is always available, always desirable, and always exemplary. So let's turn now to protection, which is also a core and historical activity in Champagne. You can see that we are now protected in more than 125 countries, including Thailand. Champagne is registered in Thailand for almost 20 years. So we are very proud and we thank you for these interesting tools. As you know, GI's names are unique. So Champagne is a unique name. We do not have the property of that name, but we are empowered by French government to protect it. So we have the chance that the winegrowers from Champagne understood very early that the value of the Champagne name stems from the exclusive link between the name and the appellation. So this is also an important issue for consumer safety and trust in a label that guarantees origin and quality. So we put a lot of efforts in fighting counterfeit and misusing of the Champagne name everywhere in the world. And we believe it's also very important to cooperate, to educate people, companies, authorities for better protection in the world. including free trade agreements. So here you have in one slide our strategy, which is not secret at all. First of all, it's important to say again that we have a great chance to have the full support of all the members. So they agree and they have trust in the Comité Champagne activities to protect the name Champagne. And they made a choice to dedicate an important budget to implement the strategy to gain full protection online, offline, and fight any fake products or misuse of the name. So we spend more than 1 million euros or dollars, let's say, every year to protect the name Champagne. And as you may know, the greater the reputation, the greater the number of misuses. So we have around 1,000 active cases and between 300 and 500 new cases every year. So what we do? First, we have a zero tolerance against counterfeiting. So if the authorities like customs, police, or anyone finds one bottle which is fake or suspicious, we will make the necessary checks, inquiries, research to be sure that it's a single or not bottle, and we will take appropriate actions on a later stage. We watch online sites and offline with field investigations, and we like to make and organize like custom training. We believe it's very important to explain people and authorities how to recognize the products. So today I'm not with you, but we can travel or we can work with local people like lawyers or local representatives to be with you and explain how to recognize the fake from genuine products. We also have a lot of issues with trademark registration. So we do monitor all trademark applications in the world, and we oppose the trademarks or we take appropriate action if needed. The most cases we have is all kind of misuse, and I will show you examples. So you have pictures of fake products on the left. Most of the time it's very easy to do fake champagne, like you buy cheap sparkling wines, you remove the label, as we can see on the picture, and then you print a new label called champagne blah blah blah, and you sell it as being real champagne. So that's quite easy, not risky, until you are catch. And you have picture of perfume from France, from China, and some drinks for pets in the UK. So those products have been banned, have been removed from the market. So here is a short selection of misuses around the world. So we have clothes, we have pet toys, perfumes, cosmetics, shoes from Thailand, perfumes. So everything can be called champagne because champagne means quality, means France, means luxury sometimes. So people and companies are quite often willing to take advantage of the reputation of that name to promote and sell products at a higher price sometimes. So we are very vigilant, and we wish that the name champagne is used only to designate sparkling wines from France. Here you can see a short, in short, a typology of misuses of the name champagne. Sorry, it's in French, but I will briefly explain that in red and in green, those are the most important cases. So misuses made by beverages or completely different products like shoes or cosmetics. So you see that the name champagne is not only used with similar products, but everything again can be called champagne. So we also in blue have a lot of sales designations and also companies called champagne. So we do care a lot about any use of champagne, as you can see. That's something quite interesting and new. In Europe, counterfeiting of GIs has a very broad definition in the regulation. So every product, similar or different of wine, which is called champagne, is considered as a misuse of the name and as a counterfeit. So we have in France, in Belgium, in Netherlands, customs authorities which seize non-alcoholic products called champagne, like sodas, like fruit juices, or like perfume, like spray perfumes, which are called champagne. So of course, it's not champagne, it's not wines. There is no confusion for the consumer. Still, the name champagne is just printed on a product which is not a sparkling wine, complying with the champagne specification. And so the customs have the capacity to seize and destroy those kind of products. Let's talk a bit about trademark. So as I said, we are very vigilant and we have a watch on every trademark application in the world. So this means that we also oppose a lot of trademark application in the world. And you have here the latest developments and the latest results in Europe and in the world. We have the capacity and a very broad regulation, very protective regulation that helps us to forbid and to have trademark rejected, even if it's not champagne, even if champagne is not identical. For example, in Moldavia, the IP office rejected the trademark application called Champsgo for non-alcoholic products. In Portugal, the IP office rejected a trademark called Pescaria, which is a place where you can eat fish. And in a small character, it was written seafood and champagne. So basically, it was the name of a restaurant where you can eat fish and drink champagne. But the IP office considered that champagne is a protected name, and so it doesn't have to be included in a trademark. In Asia, for example, South Korea rejected the trademark champagne free cone for sunglasses, and so on. So you see that we have a very strong protection in a lot of countries. Cooperation is also a key mission to us. We believe it's very important to explain what we are doing, like I do it today, and to share information on the products. So if the authorities don't know what is champagne, they cannot identify and see the fake products. So we do a lot of trainings everywhere, and we give a lot of leaflets and explanation to any people interested. We also participate in targeted operation, for example, operation focused on alcoholic beverages, on wines. And we also work with groups and forums because it's very important to share information amongst right holders or among authorities. So we are happy to closely work with any one of you to make the GIs more protected in the future. As we all know today, online is very important, but offline too. So we keep continuing monitoring the markets, and we quite often participate to wine trade, wine fairs, so we can check if the products are genuine on the market. We also have a application for customs intervention. So we do have in Europe and in European countries, and we are interested to collaborate with customs so we can stop any imports of fake or misuse of the name champagne before the products are put on the market. Online is very important too, and it's getting crazy years and years. So first of all, we now work with an internet provider, so we can check and monitor e-platforms, and we do a lot of take and down notices, in particular on Chinese markets, but everywhere in Europe too. So we have good results to delete fake and misuses of name champagne online. And on another field, we also work on domain names. So Comité Champagne owns quite a lot of domain names to promote the champagne wines. And we also use some specific mechanisms called alternative proceedings, so to get the transfer of the champagne names to the benefit of Comité Champagne. So you can see cooperation, like real example of cooperation. The latest are with Ukraine and Russia. Those are countries where champagne is not protected or not very well protected. So we cooperate with the authorities and the producers to make them understand that it's very important for them to develop their own name, their own GIs, and not only use the name champagne for their own local names, own local wines, sorry. So we help the producer to find new names, but we also help them with technical process, and we share knowledge in the spirit, in a good spirit, and with the objective to have them more independent and develop their own tools and own GIs. Last but not least, the USA, the name champagne is not recognized in the US. So we have developed a full strategy, and we work with a local alliance, also with a lobbyist team, to make champagne, to have champagne protected in the years. So we work with consumers and with the local authorities to have a better understanding of the GIs in this country. And as I said, we do a lot of training to customs authorities, to local judges also, to explain what are the mechanisms and the specificity of GIs and European names, so the GIs can be better enforced in the world. So we are very happy to welcome anyone in Champagne, and one of the last delegation was a Thai delegation of the IP office, and so it's very important to us to share mutual knowledge practices, so you can enforce the European GIs, and we can also learn from you and understand how the GIs are protected in your countries. So we are very happy to continue the collaboration with all of you. And maybe a last word, like we monitor a lot, it's important. We take action, and it's always important for Comité Champagne to settle amicably the misuses, and if necessary only, we will take the appropriate legal action to have the name fully protected in all countries of the world. Thank you very much.